Good morning, good afternoon, and or good evening. You are watching Nub's Collection, a YouTube series dedicated to the cataloging and review of every physical video game in my games collection. I'm your host, Victory Nub. Today we are looking at Astro Warrior, developed and published by Sega in December of 1986. This is probably going to be something I mentioned before, but will be the case for most of the games that we look at throughout this collection, for Sega Master System at least. Pretty much all of the games that were made and produced for the Sega Master System were published and developed by Sega. At that time, Nintendo had created some pretty strict licensing deals with the publishers, with the developers rather, for their games, that basically said you could only make games for the Nintendo Entertainment System. And as a result, I believe there were only two companies, aside from Sega, that made games for the Sega Master System. So get used to me just saying that everything was published or developed by Sega for the Sega Master System, because that's going to be something you'll hear a lot. So Astro Warrior, if the gameplay doesn't look very familiar to you already, looks and plays an awful lot like Gradius, which was a Nintendo game where you basically flew a little spaceship, picked up power-ups that increased your damage potential or changed your weapons like laser beams. And in fact, I believe there were some options in this game, or very option-like items that basically doubled or tripled your firepower, but we'll see that as we play through the game. Let me go ahead and read the story, or in the case of the manual for the Sega Master System, they call the story the What's Happening section. An assortment of nasties called the Devil Star Imperial Forces are set to invade the galaxy. There's only one hope. You, the Astro Warrior. It's all in capital letters. You've got to lead the Allied forces from the deck of your flagship Astro Raider on a daring mission. Break through a triple zone defense, destroy the enemy, and ultimately take out the mothership. Remember, between you and mission accomplished, that's in quotation marks, there are some brutal enemies out there. On their ships, in the fortress, on the mothership. So be careful, and good hunting. And then there's always an addendum section that just explains, and this is the title of it, Who's Who. It's just you and them, but there's help available. Capture the weapons, supply ships, that is, weapons with an S, and you increase your speed and power. As for them, they've got high-performance space fighters, combat-proven pilots, and the will to conquer the galaxy. And that's it. This is a very thin instruction manual. It's only got 7 pages, and 2 pages devoted to a scorebook, in case you wanted to keep track of your score to brag to your friends about, I guess. And then a fun aside, has absolutely nothing to do with gameplay, but apparently on the back of the instruction manual, my mom decided to write something to herself, I guess a memo. It says Wednesday, 5:30, BEL. I'm not sure what that was supposed to be short for. And then 28th, 2 o'clock, Belmont. That's a city near where we used to live as kids. Or I used to live as a kid, rather. Sunday, 3 o'clock, 29th. Be there at 2:30. No idea what that's in reference to. I'm sure one day I can ask her and find out what it was about. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started with the game. She's not going to know. Okay, so it looks like the same button does an attack on... or both of the buttons, rather, do an attack. You have to keep pressing the button. If you don't, it's just a single shot. Oh, good lord, I'm terrible. That was easily avoidable and I still ran into it. Oh, come on, I hit the lead ship. Yeah, I don't have any very specific memories about this game or playing this game. I think the one thing that sticks out in my memory is that there used to be Well, used to be. There was a lot of gotcha mechanics at the very end of the game that kind of screwed you over. Like, you were getting ready to fight the boss, and there would be this thing that would pop out at the very end of the level that would kind of fly at you in a very unpredictable manner, and it would kill you right before you got to the boss. Which is always very unfair in video games, when they just kind of try to screw you out of an extra life at the very end of a long level. And some of the enemy patterns here also kind of give me a little bit of Galaga vibes. Probably not the most reasonable comp. I think Gradius is clearly a more reasonable comp here, which is that it's just kind of flying through space corridors, shooting up giant ships, and do it. Oh no! I think that little green ship was a laser beam weapon. Flying through just random space corridors, shooting a bunch of little small ships before getting to a giant ship you had to take down. Oh, there we go. I seem to recall getting something for shooting all these little boxes, but I have no idea what it is. It might be that it's causing those other item ships to appear in the center of the screen. That's starting to look like the case. Ooh, I like that. Just wiping out lots of targets instead of me having to jam on the buttons as much. Those things. Oh, I remember those things. Popping up from underneath the ship at the bottom of the screen, which would very much infuriate you if you got screwed over by something popping up at the very end, right before the boss ship. Come on. So I have Gradius 3 on the Super Nintendo. I think that was the only other time I bought one of these types of games where it's just kind of like a little ship flying through space. I believe the popular term now is bullet hell. But I do remember playing Life Force, especially, which was, I believe, the Americanized naming for the Salamander series. I think I just lost. Oh, I have one more life. And Life Force, I think, was... Wow. Man, they are ruthless in this game. Life Force, I remember being distinct from Gradius in that the enemies in that game were very much more organic in nature. Not to mention, Gradius, as I recall, was very much a side-scrolling game, and Life Force gave you side-scrolling elements as well as what we're seeing now, which is kind of flying top-down, where you're going up on the screen as opposed to just left to right. And that game I always found a little bit creepy because you would have to go through these corridors where you would have to shoot, for lack of a better term for it, just walls of flesh. And the flesh would regenerate after a certain amount of time. So what you would have to do is you would have to shoot these walls of flesh, but you had to be just close enough that the back wall wouldn't regenerate onto your ship and destroy you, but also far enough away that you didn't crash into it before you actually destroyed whatever flesh you were flying into. I'm saying flesh a lot. That is very weird. And I think I would be doing that on this game, because I think this one is all just spaceships. There's my laser beam gun. Yeah, it's got to be shooting these boxes that's getting all the extra items. There's my first option. Alright, cool. Yeah, so those little options there just act as like a damage force multiplier, so you're shooting lots more beams of energy. And you really start cleaning up when you have 3 of them. I don't think you get any stronger than this. You get the laser beam and the 2 options, and that's about it. Yeah, I think I'll last a lot longer now that I have triple the firepower. I also thought it was very strange that both Salamander and Gradius had an obsession with humanoid faces as enemies in those games. In the case of Gradius, everyone who played those games is familiar with the Easter Island heads, they were called Maori statues. Maori statues? Ah, crap. And what they would do is they would just place them throughout certain areas, and they would not only act as physical obstacles, but also they would shoot these ringed laser beams at you while you flew by. And in the case of Life Force, one of the bosses in that game was the head of like the Tutankhamun sarcophagus that you would have to shoot at. I say very generalized, the King Tut sarcophagus head, but that's the one that I think everyone thinks of when they think of a sarcophagus head. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get past them without a better power-up. And I'm not sure why they thought that made a good enemy ship, or why they would think that enemy alien attack forces would think, hey, let's base our spaceship designs after like these weird statues from planet Earth. Or maybe the implication there is that those statues came from alien species that came to Earth, and in fact they were deadly warships, and we just thought, oh, it looks like a human face. Let's base a sarcophagus or a big statue on this island on one of them. Which is kind of weird. Surely revive, Zanoni. Okay. I surely will. Alright, I think I learned my lesson last time. Just keep moving and hope one of the rocks doesn't hit me. I need some power-ups bad. Whoa. Okay, bad guy. Ooh, don't like that. Nope, 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 nope. Ow! Oh, he juked right into me. I think this is going to be one of those... Oh, come on. One of those games where I probably was really good when I was younger, and now I just don't have the twitch reflexes or the muscle memory to react fast enough to some of the stuff that when I was a kid I was like blowing through with no difficulty whatsoever. I'm not paying a super high amount of attention to this, but I imagine that the ship designs that we're seeing right now are terrible and don't make any logistical sense whatsoever. Which is usually the case in these big space shooting games where they give you a ship design that, yeah, technically it would work in outer space, but how do they even get it there if it can't even leave Earth orbit without falling apart because of how ridiculous it looks? Those buzzy balls kind of look like the ones from Legend of Zelda. Not 100% the same, but very similar. Come on, give me some options. Oh, I missed the item. I hope that doesn't discount me from getting an option. There we go. There's my other option. Cool. I think that's it. I don't know if there's a triple beam in this game or not, but I guess we'll find out if one of them drops. Nice. Starting to clean up now. Now I'm getting cocky, which means I'm probably going to die in a second here. Unfortunately, unlike Gradius, which of course was a Konami game, and Konami games were famous back on the Nintendo for all having the Konami code that you could input, I don't think there is a code you can put in this game to give yourself 30 lives. So, unfortunately, it's probably going to be a lot of me playing through the first 2 or 3 levels until I just kind of bash my head through. Oh. Yay, beat him this time. I guess that means that I'm going to see this ship again because Zanoni was the boss. Don't die at the asteroid phase! Oh! The D-pad on the Sega Master System controllers is very touchy. It's not that crisp, solid plus sign that you remember from the old Nintendo Entertainment System controllers, unfortunately. Alright, so I'm guessing I have to be on one side of the screen if I want to get the those little UFO-style ships to pop up. Oh, creepy. Yeah, destroy all their little flashy red things. They're really gonna miss out on an opportunity to invade the planet by not having those things. Is that what the story said? They were invading a planet, or were they just attacking the random spacefaring civilization? Uh-oh, he's chasing! No. I'm hoping that as we go through some of these older games that I don't have a ton of recollection for, that they'll play a little more like this. Games that actually have me somewhat engaged instead of just kind of so bored with the gameplay that I have to resort to talking about completely unrelated things. But you know, maybe there is a little bit of value to having games where there's so little meat on them that I have to just find something else to keep myself entertained, talk about things that maybe you wouldn't normally talk about on a review series about video games. But I think this is one of those ones where I think there's enough going on the screen that if I'm not paying attention, I'm just going to keep failing over and over, and you won't get a good taste of the game. Whoa, okay, he's got a lot of laser beams. Looks like a predictable enough pattern to avoid, though. Hey, beat him. I don't think I've died in this run yet. Stop telling me they're all going to revive. I don't want to see him again. Alright, I like the music. It's got some juice to it. Kind of look like crude Klingon ships. Really crude. Okay, can't destroy those things. Good to know. I gotta be honest, I somewhat remember the first two levels, and I do not remember this at all. I don't know if that means I was just a really terrible player when I was a kid, and this is the farthest I've ever made it. I don't know if that says anything good about the way that I played games when I was younger. I was just really terrible at them. But I mean, same situation with the Sega Master. Oh, good lord! See, I start getting cocky, and that's when I eat it. Same thing with the Gradius. Once you get those options, you really do see a difference in how good your playthrough goes, because you have all that extra firepower. I should never have said anything. Now I'm not going to make it through this level. Alright, gauge rapid fire thrusters. I don't know if everyone had the same technique I did when they used to play games that required you to jam on a button as fast as you can, but instead of jamming on the button with my thumb as fast as I could, what I would do is I would grab the controller with my left hand and just kind of shake my wrist, because I am left-handed. I would shake the controller as fast as I could with my wrist, and it was always much faster than what I could do with my right thumb. And I still do that to this day. I just tend to, I don't know, I guess I have the stronger left wrist muscles than right thumb muscles. I don't know if that's a thing, but oh boy, just stay out of the way there. Stay out of the way. Oh, I don't like those guys. Very tough. Oh, no. Well, I think this is my stopping level here. If I don't have those options by this level, it's pretty much impossible getting further, I guess. Whew. No. Ooh! This game's tough. You know, just out of sheer curiosity, I gotta try the Konami code. Up, up, down, down, left, right, B, A. Nope, didn't do anything. It turns out there's no B or A in this game, and the B button is actually a 1, and it also says start on it, so... Sega Master System controllers, for anyone who's never touched one before, don't have a start and select button on them. If you wanted to pause the game, you had to actually physically go over to the console and press the pause button on it, as well as the reset button. But that was standard for this Nintendo as well. Was the reset was physically on the console, so yeah, fewer options with the Sega Master System buttons. That was the case with most games back in that generation. Second generation? Third generation. Not sure which one it was. Power and reset were usually on the console itself. For all the kids listening here, yeah, there was a time when you had to actually sit really close to the TV in order to play games because you had to swap cartridges and reset and turn the power on the console with a wired controller. Unfortunately, with the Sega Master System console that I have here, I have found out that the reset button only sometimes works. And I don't know if that was from old age or maybe one of the people who actually played the system in my family, getting angry at the system and jamming on the reset button really hard until it broke. I'm not gonna point fingers, because I certainly was guilty of losing my temper with games sometimes when I was a kid. So it's possible that it was me that did it. This is probably the kind of game that would have done that to me too. I can very much see myself playing this game and getting really angry that something was not going my way in a run and just jamming on that reset button at the end, because it's like, I don't want to see your game over screen. Screw you. I don't know why, but these enemies here, those little rings, kind of remind me of the mashed potato rings that they sell, the Orida ones. I don't know if they still sell them or if they're... I think they may now be smiley faces now. I don't remember being terribly good. Turns out when you freeze mashed potatoes, they don't taste as good when you heat them up. At least that's my opinion. I'm sure there's now a lobby of people who love frozen mashed potato rings that are gonna stop watching this video. I'm sorry. I have to be true to myself. If I'm not authentic with my audience, then I don't know who I can be authentic with. I say that and I'm probably gonna grab something out of the freezer for dinner tonight. Such a hypocrite. I don't know why, but these little pebbles are also making me think of kicks. I'm very hungry. Is that not obvious right now? I probably should have eaten before I played this game today, but... I also didn't want to end up having the usual issue I have after I eat food anymore, which is that I end up clearing my throat for about 5 to 10 minutes afterwards, and I didn't think that would make great audio. I also did observe when I was watching back some of the first videos that I was playing through here that it did tend to get a little bit lip-smacky, and I'm trying to combat that. I have a glass of water with me here today to try to stay fresh. In fact, I'm going to take a quick swig here. Swig. Oh, probably should have been paying attention. Not having that pause button is really starting to stick out now. Oh, come on. I am terrible. I think we'll try one more run here, and that'll probably be a pretty good look at the game, since we've already run it a couple of times and not seen a whole lot of difference. Except I'm not playing as consistently. Definitely seems like shooting the boxes is what's getting me these power-ups, so I think that should be my focus on the early runs here, is just get as many of those boxes out of the way as I can. Safely. Don't worry about the enemies, I just want these boxes. These juicy boxes! Whoa! Ah, laser beam, yes! Yes! Laser beam, good. The weirdest thought popped in my head when I pulled this game off the shelf, which was that this may have been one of those games that we bought without knowing anything about it, and then for some reason my brain popped to the first video store that I remember ever going to. Just for context, kids, people used to have to go to stores to rent things if they wanted to play it without paying full price to own it. And the store that popped in my mind was Errol's Video. Not sure if anyone listening remembers that store. It was EROL''S Video. I don't know if they ever actually rented video games. It just kind of popped in my head. But the one thing that always stuck out in my brain with the video store that was near where I lived, probably 2 or 3 miles from my house, was that the video cases for the VHS tapes was very strangely designed. It would be just a slip box that you would put the tape into. And the way that they designed it was 3 sides inside of the box had foam rubber to kind of keep the tape from getting messed up by someone dropping it. But the foam rubber never seemed to be taped into the inside of that case, so if you didn't hold the foam rubber in place on the edges of the inside of the box when you put the tape in, it would crush down into the box because it was just a little bit wider than the VHS tape, so it would always add a little extra cushion when you put it in there. But I just remember it being super cumbersome trying to put tapes back in there. And the color scheme always makes me think of McDonald's because it's red and yellow, which is very much a hallmark of old McDonald's product advertisements, was red and yellow. Everything was red and yellow. I think it's still the case, although they did try to modernize all the stores a couple of years ago. I think Wendy's is going through that right now. There's a Wendy's down the street from me. Here we go again with food. I don't know what it's about food. There's a Wendy's down the street from where I live right now that is in the process of modernizing, and instead of their old-timey red and yellow, because I guess everyone does fast food does red and yellow, they're doing something very much more stark and modern. They've got the red still, but also there's a lot of very fancy stonework on the outside of the building. I don't think it's going to improve the quality of the food, which I'm sorry to say if anyone loves Wendy's out there. I don't love Wendy's that much. That is like a last resort meal if I have absolutely nowhere else to go. Oh, okay. I don't want to die. Get rid of that guy. Get rid of that guy. Nope. No more of your shooting the... Oh, come on. Really starting to get a touch for it now. Now I don't want to quit. I want to keep playing. Uh-oh. Oh no, don't like that. No. I just want to know how they got these rocks to be sentient and to chase after me on the screen. Sentient? Sentient. I think it's sentient, right? Am I supposed to say the E-I-E? It's sentient? Deep Thoughts with Jack Handy. I remember that. That was an old SNL skit. Oh, come on! I shouldn't have stayed there. Well, this is going to make things a lot more challenging. I don't think I should be shooting at the very front first. There were targets here that I'd shoot. Yeah, there we go. That's there. Alright. Nope. Oh. I gotcha. Gotcha, guy. Getcha. Gotcha. And this is probably where I'm gonna get stopped. I really need some boxes to shoot. The ship design in this game is, or at least this ship, the one that I'm controlling, is very uninspired until you start getting better power-ups. Just kind of looks like a snow speeder, but with absolutely no personality whatsoever. Oh, come on! I got greedy. I wanted some boxes. Give me all your boxes. Avoid the kicks. I do like the music in this game. Very energetic. Maybe not the most reasonable comp, but it makes me think of Mega Man music, which was always very energetic. Oh god, no, I don't like this! Ah! Yep, I think this is definitely going to be my last run here. I don't know how many more times I can get to this level and just bang my head against the wall before I... Yep, I'm done. Well, there's one hallmark about this game that they got right from Gradius, which is the later levels are super unforgiving. There's probably just someone who's gonna watch this video, and if they've never played this, have played Gradius, and are like, "Those games aren't hard. I don't need the 30 lives." Well, I don't know what to tell you. I'm a normal human being. I lose games, and for some reason, the last life is not ticking off. This is very strange. I think I've been on 0 lives 3 times now. Oh, my complaints have been answered, or the Konami code works. Oh, that would be awesome. I find out at the very end that there is a Konami code. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna find out. If I don't say anything on this episode as an addendum, I'll say it on the next one if there is a Konami code. Alright, that was it. I think that was a good look at Astro Warrior. Let's go ahead and do our good, bad, and ugly. The good, the gameplay is very frenetic. You're constantly moving around, shooting things. It doesn't feel like it's very linear and boring. You have to keep on the move at all times because there's lots of bullets moving around. Kind of the core tenet of a bullet hell is you're constantly trying to avoid getting shot by something. The bad, I think some of the second and third level designs are very unfair unless you have the power-ups that you would have gotten at the outset of the game, you know, the laser beam and the options. Also, the variety of weapons is severely lacking because it's just the larger bullet spread and laser beams, and that's it. The ugly. Again, I think spaceship design in early video games never seemed to make sense. It was either super round or square shapes, or ships that just would not make logistical sense. Like you wouldn't be able to actually lift them off of a planet because the shape and the weight dispersion of the ships just would never have made sense. The ship there, that makes sense. Just kind of a V because it's, you know, going to cut through the air if you're trying to get into space. But some of these weird zigzaggy designs on the very large ships just does not make any sense. For ratings, 1 to 5 stars, I would say this is probably a 4. It was still a lot of fun playing back through this game. Not perfect by any means. Again, the weapon variety would have been a little bit nicer, and it is a very difficult game, so it's hard to say that this was a perfect 5 stars. And I'm not sure the rating system's going to stick the way it is right now. I just thought it'd be fun to throw something in there and give some context for what I think as far as the game is concerned. But yeah, it says it's a 4 out of 5. So I think that is it for this particular episode of Nub's Collection. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.